Hello and welcome everyone to this press conference. And first I'd like to say welcome to Stockholm and thank you for being here, President Michel. Short. And your visit sends a strong signal of European unity and that we stand together against the Russian aggression and in solidarity with Ukraine and in support of our democracies and our common values. And during our working lunch, we had the opportunity to discuss matters on the EU agenda, including the two upcoming summits. And at the center of our attention, of course, is how the European Union can continue to support Ukraine and the importance of imposing further sanctions on Russia. We also discussed the security situation in Europe more broadly, including Sweden's and Finland's decision to apply for NATO membership. And out of NATO's 30 member states, 21 are members of the European Union, and they have welcomed Sweden and Finland to join NATO. And this is a true sign of our unity and the conviction that NATO will be stronger with Sweden and Finland as member states. And of course, as member states, we will be constructive partners of NATO. But the EU will remain our main foreign and security policy arena, and Sweden will continue to contribute to EU as a strong actor, and we look forward to strengthening our cooperation on security, both within the Union, but also as future members of NATO between the two organizations. I'd also like to take this opportunity to inform that Sweden's dialogue with Turkey is ongoing, and as I have stated earlier, I look forward to strengthening the Swedish-Turkish bilateral relations, including on peace, security, and the fight against terrorism. Before I leave the floor to you, Charles, I would like to just say a few words about the devastating events taking place in Texas. And as Swedes went to bed last night, they received new flashes of another school shooting in the United States. And when we woke up this morning, we heard the voices of survivors and witnesses. We also heard reports of a death toll, making this the deadliest school shooting in the US since 2012. And at this dark moment, our thoughts and our full support are with our friends, the American people, and with the families who lost a loved one in this dreadful act of violence. So again, Charles, I want to tell you thank you for coming to Stockholm, and I look forward to our next European Council, which is very soon, and which will take place next week.
Thank you, dear Prime Minister. Thank you, dear Magdalena. First of all, allow me to join you and to join your words. We are all shocked by this tragic attack in Texas, and on behalf of the EU, I would like also to offer my condolences to the victims and to their families. Dear Magdalena, I would like to welcome you for your warm welcome for this occasion to meet you and to prepare together the next European Council meeting. This is a pivotal moment for Sweden and the whole EU, and your application for NATO membership comes at a crucial time. The values of peace, prosperity, freedom and democracy are now at stake in our European soil, and these values were forged from the ashes of the two world wars, and your decision is strongly supported by the Swedish people. We respect your choice, we fully support your choice and your decision, because NATO membership will be mutually beneficial for both the EU and for NATO. It will make Europe safer, and we look forward to a positive resolution to discussions among NATO allies. Sweden has been an integral part of our united response to Russian aggression, and with the Prime Minister, we had the occasion to discuss the agenda for next week's European Council. We discussed the importance of financial support to Ukraine, the short-term liquidity needs and the reconstruction needs. We also highlighted the urgency of bolstering our defense capabilities, as we decided in Versailles, we need to address our investment gaps in defense and to join forces as much as possible to maximize our impact. The issue of energy prices will also be crucial. High prices are putting pressure on our households and economies, and we will focus on phasing out our dependence on fossil fuels from Russia and boosting renewables. The war in Ukraine is also driving up global food prices, and the most vulnerable around the world will pay the heaviest price. In Odessa, I had the occasion to see millions of tons of wheat and grains blocked in silos because of Russian warships. Russia bears sole responsibility for the famines that are taking shape, but we are determined to take action to prevent this global crisis. And that's why we support initiatives like FARM, put forward by France and supported by the European Council and the G7, but also other humanitarian actions will be needed. We are convinced that we must stay strong and united against the Russian aggression. I know that we can count on Sweden, and Sweden can count on the European Union. I thank you, Magdalena.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll start with a question from SVT.
Yes, I have a question for Michel. I wonder, there's a summit next week. How are you working with the unity of the European Union when it comes to the sanctions against Russia, and especially Russian oil? Will there be a discussion about sanctioning Russian oil at the table at all?
We are working very hard in order to resolve the topic. You know that there's a proposal put on the table by the Commission. We have started a few weeks ago to address the question of sanctions on Russian oil. I had the occasion yesterday to have many contacts with different EU leaders. We discussed the topic today with the Prime Minister. I'm still confident that we can be able to resolve the topic before the European Council. It requires a lot of dialogue, a lot of political efforts, and we are working very hard in order to be able to stay united, extremely important, but also to take decisions in order to break the Russian war machine and to try to put pressure on the Kremlin in order to end the war.
Yes, and from a Swedish government, we really support the Commission, the Council presidency and the Commission in the difficult work that they are doing during this period. You have been extremely successful. I mean, we have agreed on many packages, the most severe sanctions, way more than was expected. And we really, from a Swedish side, we want to be constructive. We want to go further with further sanctions to Russia, against Russia.
We're moving on to TV4.
Hi, I'm Jens Nordström from TV4 in Sweden. I have a question for the both of you. The European Union is perhaps not a formal party to the Swedish NATO application, but how do you view the negotiations with Turkey, and are you hoping to that the Council will influence it in some way?
I would like to say that we fully trust the way the Swedish government is acting in order to make sure it will be possible very soon to take a formal and a legal decision on this NATO application. We understand that today there are ongoing talks in Turkey on the topic. I don't want to make any statement that would make the talks more difficult, of course, but we think it's very important to express the political support from the EU in order to help Sweden and Finland to take this important step, because, like I said, we are totally convinced that this is a new chapter for the future of the European continent. It's a new chapter because of this war launched by Russia against Ukraine. It's a new chapter in order to organize the geopolitical relationships, and that's why I'm convinced that this NATO membership for Sweden and Finland will make Europe safer.
Well, I mean, we very much appreciate all the support that we are getting for our application from the European Union and from other NATO member states. And the dialogue with Turkey is ongoing, actually, right now as we are speaking. And I look forward to continue this dialogue.
Next question is from TT News Agency.
Mr. Michel, you have said many times, and now as well, that the maintaining unity is the most important thing. But now there's pressure from many sides when it comes to energy prices, food, and this sanction discussion. Will it be possible, or do you see to maintain this unity? We will see cracks when it comes to Hungary and some other countries as well.
Unity requires a lot of efforts, and it's extremely important to have a mutual understanding, to understand very well how we can work together, how we can take into account the different legitimate concerns. It's one first element. Second element, we should recognize that probably we took Vladimir Putin by surprise because we were able to be immediately extremely united and extremely strong. And I'm personally convinced that Russia had not expected before the start of the war that the EU would be so strong, so united, and also not only the EU, together with our partners and together with our allies. This another element. And finally, we know that it is important to end our dependency on Russian fossil fuels, and we took the decision in Versailles. This is a decision that we have taken all together by unanimity in Versailles. But we all know that the transition is more difficult because we need to find the concrete solutions in order to make sure that we protect the economic interest and also the social cohesion on the European soil. And that's why we are working, trying to be innovative, to be constructive in order to put some proposals on the table that will allow us to protect the unity and to be united. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Is it difficult? Yes, it's difficult. But we don't give up, and we work a lot. And I sincerely hope that we will be able again to show that we are united. And this European Council meeting on Monday, Tuesday is an important cultural moment in order to show our unity.
You're more optimistic than Mrs. von der Leyen?
I am optimistic by nature, but more seriously, I'm realistic. I know what are the difficulties. I'm very rational. I listen actively to all the different opinions around the table of the European Union's table, and I do my best in preparation of this meeting to propose some possible solutions.
I mean, of course, this war affects all of us. It affects all citizens in the European Union, but also people living outside the European Union, both when it comes to energy prices. We had the Putin prices on oil. We have Putin prices on electricity. We do have Putin prices on food. And, of course, this is difficult. But there is an easy solution, and that is that Russia stops the war. I think what you said is also important. This is the thing that to get less dependency on fossil fuel. It is a transition period. It will be difficult. There's no question about it. But it's the right thing, both when it comes to security policy to not be as dependent on Russia. But we also know for climate to stop climate change, this is something that is the right thing to do. And now is the right moment in time to do it from several perspectives.
All right, the next question will be asked by newspaper Svenska Dagbladet.
Ja, jag tänkte ha en fråga till Magdalena Andersson. Är det okej att ta den på svenska då?
She wants to ask in Swedish. That is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you have? I think here is.
No, it's not from Swedish to English.
Oh, it's not
Okay,
from Swedish to English. Okay.
Is it from?
I can.
It's not going to work.
Okay.
But she can just. Yeah.
Ja. Ja, hur kommer det sig att det är din statssekreterare som skickas till Turkiet och inte utrikesministern? Och sen så undrar jag, Turkiet kom ju med den här kravlistan igår. Utifrån den, vad kan Sverige göra för att gå Turkiet till mötes?
Vi har dialog på statssekreterarnivå. Det är samma nivå som Finland också skickar representanter, och det är den nivån som de kommer att träffa i Turkiet. Så att vi möts ju alltid på samma nivå som Turkiet bjuder in på. Så att det är bakgrunden. Alla länder har samma nivå på representation på de här mötena. Och vi kommer naturligtvis gå igenom och diskutera den listan, men också försöka reda ut en del oklarheter som har funnits i det som har skrivits i media och också påståenden som har kommit från olika håll. No, Ja, det handlar såklart om var någonstans Sverige skickar biståndspengar till exempel. Också att Sverige ju, vart vi säljer vapen till exempel, där har det funnits en del oklarheter och det är ju enkelt för oss att förtydliga detta från svensk sida.
Okay.
Vi skickar ju inte pengar till terroristorganisationer, såklart. Eller vapen heller.
Thank you all for the questions, and that's the end of this press conference.